Dune Part 1 has been released since the end of 2021. It won a couple of awards at the Oscars, including Best Original Score and Best Cinematography. I planned to see this film a long time ago. I wasn't able to do so in theater due to the pandemic, and I've waited and waited and waited and forgotten. But since Dune Part 2 has been announced and got a very positive reviews, I've decided to watch the Part 1 to catch up with the Part 2 story. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, set in the distant future, the film allows Paul Atreides, played by Timothée Chalamet, as his family, the noble house Atreides, is thrust into a war for the deadly and inhospitable desert planet Arrakis. I've followed Villeneuve since Blade Runner 2049, then I go back to watch Prisoners because I want to see how good of an actor Paul Dano is. Now I've watched Dune. I must admit, two of his movies that I've watched have been brilliant and nothing short of excitement in terms of storytelling. One thing I'd like to point out though, and the one thing that thousands of people might have already done, is how the WB marketing team promote this film to the public. They simply title it Dune. Everywhere, poster, trailer, title card announcement. So we as audience must go in there and expect, a complete movie with a 3 acts and a proper conclusion. Nope. Turns out, as soon as the title card pops up, it's fucking Dune Part 1. It's a 3-part storyline that we thought is just one movie. That's a bit frustrating in my opinion. The movie though is still very good. The cinematography is spectacular. It won an Oscar for a reason. Greg Fraser, the same cinematographer from Rogue One and The Batman. The way they build this Dune universe is so breathtaking. It's not beautiful and colorful city like any usual sci-fi film would feature, but instead we've got a desert planet with ships 3 times bigger than a building, houses equipped with soft dim lights to suit the mood and tone of the entire film. The color palette of this film is very simple. It's mostly light, medium, bright shade of orange, simply put, dust color. Apart from that, they use the dim lights to reveal something or characters sometimes emerge from the dark, which looks so intriguing and wonderful without showing the background. I also like their build-up and suspense to a big reveal. For example, there's a scene to introduce the sandworm to us. Instead of just showing the sandworm to us directly, they spend some time building up the tension and revealing it for just a few seconds that is worth a wait. The visual effects team also did a brilliant job. The set design is gorgeous and creative. I love how they put the details in each shot to look great. The background setup, the size of those massive ships compared to humans is unreal and sometimes believable to my eyes. They also crafted the sound effect very well with the fictional gadgets, weapons, the fight scene and so on. The soundtrack is composed by Hans Zimmer, and what can I say? Everything the man touches turns into gold. From Lion King to Pirates of the Caribbean to The Dark Knight to Interstellar and now this. I must say this is not the best piece of soundtrack of Hans Zimmer, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's very good and most importantly, fitting for the movie. It sounds ancient, religious, but also futuristic and chaotic, which is exactly the theme of this movie. The costume design also made this movie very unique. You see, it's a sci-fi movie set in a very far future, but they still dress like ancient people. Now we can come to the story. Just as I said, this movie is supposed to establish the basics of the Dune universe. They spend time to explain to us bit by bit what their universe is like. The politics system, the supernatural power system, the relationships, the terminology, their technical terms to call specific things in their universe. As I said, the movie has some fight scene, but that's just a glimpse of what's to come in the next movie. It kinda goes from first gear to second gear and then third gear for a little bit, and then they take a step back to the second gear and just finish the movie there. However, the director is still able to tell a compelling introduction to a very big story and make each character have their own goals to chase. They set a destiny for us to unfold slowly. I'd like to point out one thing though, which is the prophecy scenes, the vision. I don't like the fact that they show us too much and possibly a spoiler for the entire saga. This movie is set in the far future, but somehow they don't use guns. They use knives to fight each other, but they also use blasters and aircraft shooting missiles. I don't know, man. At the end, I feel like this movie is just a big setup for Dune Part 2. It did a brilliant job at doing so. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. See you in the next video. Goodbye.